Hello K6ers, I am Leandro Melendez. You are watching KSIX News with the hottest release news for the K6 solution. In today's show, we will be bringing you the latest news on K6 OSS release for version 0.38. And that means that it is time for our breaking news segment. Alright, let's start this breaking news for version 0.38 with a new addition for the officially supported K6 JavaScript libraries for AWS. The library is K6-JSLib-AWS. These new additions will allow users to interact directly with some AWS services, implementing support for the S3 and Secrets Manager services. In more news, you can now access the consolidated derived options from the default function. All those options that K6 computes before it starts to execute the test. You can access them through the exec.test.options property. Now, following up with new things. There are a few new helper functions on the K6-JSLib-utils library. You can use them to automatically tag the metric values in a running stage. Now, on the security front, this new version, 0.38, allows you to dump SSL keys into a file when you make a TLS connection. With those keys, you will be able to decrypt the generated traffic. For that, just save the file path on the SSL key log file variable. And now, it is time for some breaking changes in our breaking news segment. First, we have a huge and extraordinary change. Now, all console methods such as log and info will automatically stringify objects and arrays. You can now directly see the objects and arrays in a pretty printout without more classes or functions to make it prettier. With this, debugging just got way easier. Also, in the spirit of making things easier, the types and functions that used to live in the stats package have been moved to the metrics one. I repeat, no more stats package, as it has been completely removed in version 0.38. Beware! And speaking of removing stuff, the support for the max views option is bye-bye in this version completely. Before, you had a warning, but now it's completely gone. Gone like some other leftovers that were also removed, such as common.bind, common.bind to global, and common/context.go. So many things going on, right? But that is not all. The team has also been working a lot over the backend. And to give some insights, today we have the amigo Mostafa Moradian, senior software engineer with the K6 backend team, reporting directly from Stockholm, Sweden. Hola, amigo Mostafa. Welcome to the news. How are you?
Hello, Leandro. How are you? I'm good. Thank you for asking.
I am good as well, amigo. Thank you so much for coming today. So, tell us, what has been going on lately with the team at the backend in K6?
In the last 8 weeks, we've focused more on stability and reliability of our own backend or our own platform, I would say. We tried to triage a lot of bugs. We went through all our alerting, monitoring, visualization, and everything we use internally, and then triage all the bugs and try to make tickets and fix most of the things that we see that needed to be fixed. All in all, I would say this last 2 months or 8 weeks has been very important to the stability and reliability of our platform. And we see much less fail tests, we see much less errors in our platform, and we have a better visibility into what we're doing in the back.
Oh, wow. That is awesome, amigo. It is essential to keep up with those stabilizations and fixes. But now you got me curious. What fixes or work would you say was exciting or that you could speak a little bit more about?
There were multiple things, but one that I know of that I personally contributed to was increasing the stability of our API. So we would see a lot of failures between AWS platform and ours. We debug, we like try to monitor everything like CPU and all of the resources, memory and stuff. We try to investigate the number of calls to our APIs. We try to see which requests take more time and try to go for them first. But we also included a lot of other metrics and things that we could find to try to optimize our API calls and try to fix them so that the tests don't fail on our platform.
Oh, wow. I can already tell that the APIs got a very good attention during this cycle. But in general, as you mentioned, I am glad that stability and optimization were a focus. In some way of thinking, you were improving the performance of our fantastic performance tool. Those are awesome contributions. Thank you, amigo. And thank you also for your work and sharing with the audience today all that what you have been doing. It has been a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Adios, amigo Mostafa, and thank you again. Wow, so many things, right? Well, and that's not all. Remember that on our last news episode, we mentioned that Go started doing the parsing instead of JavaScript, remember? Well, on top of that, K6 will now parse and evaluate valid thresholds before even starting the execution. It will detect invalid thresholds right away, displaying useful messages before even starting so that there are not silly errors coming through. It will display if there's a problem. And speaking of displays, if you did not like the colorful and shiny output of K6 when you run it, now you have two additional options to monochromatize the output by setting to true the no_color or K6_no_color environment variables. And keeping up with colorful things like the standard K6 output, I have heard that the weather has been very colorful lately. So let's go to our weather reporter, Paul Bailo, on his weather segment. Hola, amigo Paul. What's up with the weather?
Hey, Leandro. The weather's lovely right now. I feel like I should be out on my own private island. Now, speaking of private islands, K6 Cloud now provides the option of private load zones. This allows the K6 Cloud service to actually execute tests within your own AWS account on your own infrastructure. It's ideal for internal applications that cannot or should not be exposed over the internet to test. All of the metrics collection and visualization is still handled within the K6 Cloud. Now, at this time, only AWS is supported, and this does apply strictly to customers on the enterprise plan. With the increase in privacy having your own island, you could actually say, what 10 lines? Now, back on episode 44 of K6 Office Hours, Nicole Vanderhoeven spoke with Pavel Suwala and Samuel Regendel, I hope they forgive me, about private load zones. You should definitely check that out. Now, looking over here at the Grafana K6 app, we've had some nice updates for simplifying the plugin setup, improving the look and feel, as well as supporting those private load zones we just mentioned. Be sure to check out episode 49 of the K6 Office Hours, where we discuss these changes in detail with one of our front-end developers, Edgar Fisher. Now, if you're planning a trip to the K6 extensions, we do have a travel advisory in effect. Now, version 0.38 did introduce a breaking change related to the stats package. If you created an extension or are using extensions that create custom metrics, your builds may fail when using XK6. Now, if you find yourself in this situation, do not panic. The change should be simply replacing your usage of the stats package with the metrics package. And be sure to bump that K6 version to 0.38 while you're in there. Well, that's all we have for the weather, so back to you, Leandro.
Thank you very much, amigo Paul. Have a good one. Okay, as you can see, there are so many updates and news going around K6, and there are many more pending. So many that I will just list the rest so we don't extend too much this episode. So, some of the rest of the updates in this version are such as support for encrypted TLS keys, improvements in the performance for JSON outputs, also changes on K6 behavior during Go panics. There are also lots of extension stuff going on and several bug fixes and much more. For more information about this release and those details that we couldn't get deeper into, please check the link in the description below. If you have any questions or comments about our solutions, also you can please come to our community forum at community.k6.io. Our team and the community will happily help you and discuss any questions or topics that you may have. All right, we have reached the end of tonight's report. For now, that will be it from all of us here at KSIX News. I'm Leandro Melendez. You stay classy, K6. Hello K6ers, your amigo reporter Leandro Melendez with an emergency report. We just witnessed a chase up here at the K6 copter, where our developers caught an urgent bug fix. They just got it. They found that there was a bug in the threshold submetric selector parsing, but gladly it was caught and fixed on time. And they packed some more fixes like the error messages for invalid metrics, submetrics, and threshold definitions, all in the hotfix for release version 0.38.1. We want to thank at EFD Knit Frank, who reported and helped us track down this issue. Now that we caught it and released the new version, we can rest and test confidently. Closing this emergency report, I am Leandro Melendez. Stay tuned for new news and you stay classy, K6.